Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone who is tuning in today is doing super fantastic. Before I get into this episode, I do want to say make sure you follow me on my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest so that you can stay up to date on all of the latest podcast episodes and catch a glimpse of my everyday life. Also, feel free to leave me a review and let me know how tall you are. I'm genuinely curious. I also have a newsletter. You should definitely sign up for it. Everything is going to be linked in the description. Honestly, y'all, I'm just going to get right into it because we have a lot to unpack. And I'm going to say this at the super beginning of this episode. You should definitely check out the video version of this because I got so many videos. I took so much content and I genuinely hope that I think I uploaded it onto my cloud. But anyways, I took so much content at the event, got so many pictures, so many videos, and I'm going to be showcasing that on the video version of this so you guys can see what it was like and, kind of just get the full experience like I did. I'm going to try to remember to link the video in the description, the YouTube video in the description, so that you guys can just head on over there if you want to do that. As you may or may not know, I went to the Tall Size pop-up shop event this past weekend. Oh my gosh, what an experience. If you don't know Tall Size, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. But Tall Size is essentially an online marketplace that's home to several tall brands. Okay, I'm talking Korai, Whitney Allysyn, Prissy Duck, Above the Crowd, just to name a few. And because they're an online marketplace, there's no physical place to go on and try these clothes. So they thought it would be a good idea to do a tour in the US and Canada, I believe, and basically just showcase the brands. So the brands basically send them samples of their products or send them their products. I don't know. I'm not really good with these terms. They basically send them some of their products for people to actually physically try on at these pop-up shop events. And they were in New York City this past weekend. So, I had to be there. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend one of the days. They had two events. One was a VIP night on Friday, but I wasn't able to do that because I had to attend to other personal things. But I definitely made it on Saturday and it was such an amazing experience. I'm kind of sad too because I said I was going to be there at 11. Tell me why I got there literally an hour and a half later. Okay, but the MTA was MTAing. It was just the trains were acting up. So I at least don't beat myself up as much because the train was just acting a fool. Anyways, wasn't able to attend on Friday, but there are definitely plenty of pictures and videos over on social media if you look them up, but I was able to attend on Saturday. So that is a majority of what we're going to be talking about today. But it all started on Thursday, actually, the Thursday before the two events happened. So I saw a story post on Tall Size's Instagram account and I was like, hey, we need volunteers in New York City. Does anybody want to volunteer? Something along those lines. So, I swiped up and was like, hey, sign me up. And it was super cool. They responded the times that I would be able to volunteer. So because I couldn't do Friday, I just did Thursday night for a few hours. So I helped out Thursday in the evening. And that was my first ever time meeting Kayla, one half of Tall Size. I remember being on the train freaking out a little bit because, it's like these are people that you see online. You interact with them online on social media. So yeah, you see them on your phone, but meeting them in real life, that could be a tiny bit scary. But I heard so many good things about her. I believe it was Karina who told me that Kayla was super nice and I'm gonna have a blast meeting her and stuff. So I at least kind of went in with that in my head. And Karina was right. When I first met her, she was super nice. We gave each other a hug, said hi, did our little introductions and such, and we basically got right to work. So the event was at the Franklin showroom, I believe, and the space was super cute. It was kind of like an office-ish area. They had an office area in the back corner, but most of it was open floor. So it was kind of something that it was an area that you could set up for events and stuff. A lot of it was open floor for things to be set up. And when I got there, Kayla literally had 5 structures of the changing rooms set up. So how the changing rooms basically worked was there was a little structure thing And then they had curtains. If you're watching the video version of this, you could probably understand what I'm saying. I hope I took videos of it, but I'll probably use hers too, honestly, in the episode. But they had structures, and then the curtains basically go over those structures. She set up like 5 of those by herself. I was like, how? Because when I was sitting there and when we were working together on one, I was struggling because they had numbers on it. So we had to connect the numbers to each other. So if one part had a 16, you had to find another part that had a 16 on it and connect those two. And I was like, the math wasn't mathing for me for some reason at that time. But you know what? It's okay. We got it done. But honestly, kudos to her for setting those up, and honestly, just setting up a lot of the things that were at the event, because it was a lot. So I definitely want to applaud her for that. At some point in time, she ended up FaceTiming Nicole. So I was able to say hi to Nicole too. That was super, super nice. I heard her baby in the background, of course. Congratulations again to you, Nicole, if you're listening to this. And, you know, it was at least nice to speak to her live and say hi. And then, you know, we got back to work. And when I tell you this was some heavy duty stuff, like it was heavy duty stuff, like setting up clothing racks, building. First of all, we were Bob the Builder for like the first third of it. We were building those changing rooms, and then we were building those clothing racks. I'm making it seem like we're building stuff from scratch, like it's like a construction site where you put like cement and bricks together, but it's not really necessarily like that. It was just stuff like pieces to connect to each other, but still it was so much. So we were building the changing rooms, we were building the clothing racks, we were opening boxes, hanging up clothes, moving things around to make the area like how we kind of wanted it to be. So for the first third, we were basically Bob the Builder. Then the second third, it was almost as if we were working at a retail store, because we were hanging up a lot of clothes on hangers and on the clothing racks. And then the third third, we were basically interior designers, and I honestly think that we were really good interior designers because we got the layout down in not a lot of time, and it looked really nice. Nonetheless, we got the job done. Okay, there was a really good workout. Let me tell you, I was sore for a while. I'm still a tiny bit sore to this day. Let's just say that I did not go to the gym the next day because that was not gonna happen for me. But overall, it was really nice spending time with Kayla and just learning a lot about her passions and aspirations after she retires from playing basketball. Honestly, her experience and her journey becoming a professional basketball player and all of her travels and stuff. It was really a pleasure helping her out and honestly getting to know her. And after a while, I did have to leave and I felt kind of bad, but Chloe, who was helping them like planning the event, she was supposed to be coming in to help out Kayla with the rest, so thank goodness. So I felt a little less bad. So yeah, that's kind of what I did to help set up for the event. And then Saturday came around. Oh my gosh, the day was beautiful. The weather was beautiful. It was a nice, sunny, kind of like a late summer, early fall type weather. And when I went outside into that sunshine, I knew it was going to be a good day. And like I said before, I was running a little bit late. It was a whole hour and a half. But nonetheless, I made it and it was super cool. And when I walked in, the first person I saw was Whitney from Whitney Allysyn. Oh my gosh. It was so nice to give her a hug. She was a previous guest, by the way. It was so nice to meet her. We took some photos in the photo booth, so I definitely want to include those here. Super nice, and I'm just so sad that she had to leave like shortly after that, but I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to meet her. I met so many people that I follow on Instagram, like Bree, who was a previous guest on this episode, and Solange. I know them both from Instagram, but they also live in New York City. And Bree is not too far from me. And I'm like, how is this the first time that we're actually meeting? How is this the first time that we're actually meeting? But, you know, it was a blast just being able to talk to them and stuff like that. They were honestly so amazing. Like, we were talking about our experiences as a tall girl and life in general. And one thing that definitely stood out to me was when we were all talking about when the creepy people start asking you for pictures on Instagram. If you're a tall girl, I'm pretty sure you've gotten one or two of those messages. So they gave some advice to me. And honestly, I'm going to pass along this advice to you guys as well. This came from Bree and Solange. If they ask you for photos, you charge them $5,000 per photo. And I remember Bree saying, if they leave you alone after that because it's too expensive, that's good because they leave you alone. But, if they do say, okay, I'll give you the money, hey, you have the opportunity to make some extra cash. So if you want to do it, you could do it. And I'm like, why have I never thought about that? So next time, just in case that happens, I'm going to put that advice to use. But honestly, it's so hilarious meeting them. And I honestly hope that we all keep in touch and we can meet up more in the future. And it was cool because some people there actually knew me, especially some of the people who are representing some of the brands. And they knew me as the girl with the podcast, which I get it 100%. I do work hard to make sure that I appear on everybody's feed almost every single day. But yeah, it was so nice to meet them officially in person too. And yeah, let's talk about the brands, okay? I honestly made it a mission to try at least one thing from each brand because even if I didn't purchase it, I wanted to at least display it on social media. And going back through the footage, I'm not gonna lie, I think I potentially missed a brand. And I feel kind of bad about that. So because I'm literally going to list out all of the things that I tried on, and I'm going to include the videos on the video version, and I'm going to have the links in the description. So if you know the brand, if I missed one, if you know the brand that I didn't try, make sure you let me know so I can at least give them a shout out somewhere, somehow, because I want to give everybody shout outs. There was a wide variety of stuff. We had robes there were bathing suits there were pants there, we had blazers, jumpsuits, like everything under the sun. So there was definitely much variety there, and it was just so much to choose from. It was hard to pick just one, but I knew that I would not be able to interact with anyone if I tried on every single piece in that place. So I tried my best to pick the ones that I thought would look decent on me, that would look good on me, and I did videotape it so I can show you guys. And you know what? I'm actually gonna list out every single thing. Yes, I kept track. I'm going to list out every single thing that I tried on, and I apologize in advance if I got the name wrong, but I feel like I triple check. But just in case I did get it wrong, please also let me know so I can correct myself. But I did my research and I'm going to list it all out now, and they're all going to be linked in the description. I'm going to make sure of that. So if you see something that, you like or you're interested in, you can click on the link in the description and you can check it out. And for reference, I'm like a medium/small in many things, but for the most part, I wore a medium in a lot of the things that I tried on. So I tried on the tall black lounge top from TJL, the black Helen puff sleeve bodysuit from Korai, jasmine cargo pant from Morlaix, I hope I'm saying that correctly, a pair of high-rise wide-leg jeans from 1822 denim, the Jet Set sweatpants, I believe that's what it's called, the Jet Set sweatpants from Live Tall, Amalfi two-piece cord set from Paris Style, the fall winter capsule blazer from Whitney Allysyn, the linen shirt dress from Above the Crowd, Good Things Come in Tall Packages t-shirt by Tall Realities. I see what they did there. The Tony one-piece swimsuit from Wavelength Swimwear, the Tulum, it's either Tulum or Tulum, I don't know for sure, one piece from Andy Swim, the tall high-waist flare dress pants from Alloy Apparel, and the double button pants from Prissy Duck. I hope I said all of these correctly, and I hope that all of the product names are correct as well. Like I said before, make sure you let me know if they're incorrect, and I will definitely correct myself because I don't mind doing that. And they're all going to be linked in the description anyways, so you guys can check them out and actually see for sure. Honestly, all of the pieces were such good quality. Nothing was flimsy. Nothing felt cheap. Everything felt like it was made with care and love. And all of them were, obviously, if the material was meant to be light and airy, then yes, it was light and airy, but even so, there was thick good quality materials used, and you can tell that a lot of time and effort was definitely put into them. So yes, like these were actually good pieces, not no cheap fast fashion type things that come from other places. Like this was the real deal. This was good stuff. And I'm gonna say a lot of those pairs of pants were mad long. Well, then again, they did have inseams that were like 37 and like 38 or something, or 39 along those lines, and I'm like a 36 ish. So obviously, they were dragging on the floor, but I honestly didn't mind. And let me tell you, I was definitely humbled at the tall size event. Y'all know me, I do rave about being tall, but I was one of the shortest ones there, and I absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh, is it weird to say that? Most of the people there were probably like 6 foot and up, and I was here for it. It was honestly so amazing. It felt so nice for once in my life to actually look up at people when I was talking. I was like, wow. This is the longest I've ever looked up to a person literally to actually talk to them. And I'm so here for it. And I met a couple brand owners as well. I think, yeah, I mentioned earlier that I met Whitney Allysyn. I did meet Paris from Paris Style. I also met Stephanie from Prissy Duck. I'm telling y'all, I met the tall celebrities there. Literal tall, like celebrities in the tall girl community. And honestly, it was so amazing to meet all of them. I'm doing like little vloggy vlogs over on social media, so definitely check those out. And I'm sure you guys are probably wondering about the business cards and stickers. I will say that they were definitely a big hit. Shout out to Kayla for offering to put some of the business cards in the goodie bags on the VIP night on Friday. So when she gave out the goodie bags to the guests, they could get the cards and stuff. And the next day, some people actually like knew who I was because of the business cards that they saw in the goodie bags from the night before. So shout out to you, number one, Kayla, for doing that, because that was honestly so nice and so amazing of you. And also shout out to the people who recognized me basically from the business cards and the goodie bags. Y'all are lit. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous going up to random people and telling them about my podcast and stuff like that, because the whole point of this was to put myself out there. But all of them were just so nice and so welcoming, and it was just so amazing being able to meet new people, meet new tall women, and they were just honestly so nice and so welcoming about it. And I feel like they all had like genuine interest in it. So if you're tuning in from, me telling you about this podcast at the tall size event, shout out to you. You're awesome. And I did purchase a couple things from, well, really just two things at the tall size event. I purchased two things from the tall brand. So I'm going to reveal that, and I'm going to try it on in a separate social media video. So make sure you're following me on my socials. And afterwards, I volunteered to clean up. Honestly, it was the least that I can do for, Kayla putting the business cards and stickers in goodie bags, and, them just putting on this event themselves. Like, honestly, it was so amazing and so heartwarming that this occurred. Like, it was so much better than I expected. I literally walked out with 3 stickers left. I was supposed to save 8 or 9 for some of my friends. I'm only down to 3. So yeah, there's that. And my business cards are halfway done. So I will consider that a success in my eyes. But honestly, 15 million out of 10 experience. There's just something about being in a room full of other tall women as a tall woman. It's so inspiring and so uplifting, and everybody just understands each other. And you just feel so safe and so seen and so welcome. And honestly, that's exactly how I felt at the tall size event. So yeah, shout out to Chloe also for taking my measurements. Thank you for that. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Nicole. Honestly, shout out to everybody I met. It was honestly an amazing experience. And make sure you're following me on my socials at A Tall Girls Podcast, so you can see visually, if you're on the audio version, how everything went down. I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for coming and listening from the tall size event. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And of course, if we took any photos together, please send them my way. And thank you again for making it to the end of this episode. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.